All-Star Western number 21, written by Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray, art by Moritat. So, last issue, it doesn't matter. Like, they Booster Gold got one of the prisoners and some money and whatnot, and they're being chased by horses, is how this one opens up. But it literally doesn't matter, because the whole thing is that Booster Gold doesn't know how to steer the horses, and as they're being shot at, the prisoner gets shot in the head, so he's dead anyway. Jonah Hex jumps onto the wagon to use the really big minigun in the back, and Booster, still not knowing how to drive these horses, ends up driving them over a cliff. And so Jonah is going off this cliff along with Booster, and then all of a sudden they disappear in a flash of light, and we see that they are traveling through time. Booster is using his time travel tech to travel through time, and he's like, "Look, Jonah, I'm sorry about all that. I know you're probably pissed, but you need to hold on to me real tight." And Jonah just punches him in the face and lets go, so now he's lost in the time stream. But then all of a sudden he falls out. And when he wakes up, he sees a couple of like steampunk-looking guys are like, "Oh God, this guy must be drunk. Anyway, hey, sir, the train stopped. You got to get off." And so Jonah gets up, he stumbles out, and as he makes his way out, he sees that he is in probably modern-day Gotham. I say probably because there's a few little things that seem weird, but regardless, he's in modern-day Gotham, and he looks around and he sees all this crazy technological stuff. He sees all the crowds and planes and helicopters, and he's like, "God damn it, Booster, what did you do?" And then we cut down into an alleyway where a group from Wisconsin are visiting, and they made their way down the wrong alley in Gotham, of all places. And they're being attacked by members of the Mutants gang, which is specifically from The Dark Knight Returns, like Frank Miller's story, which is set in the future. So I don't know if we're supposed to be in the future, but like it doesn't say. So either way, Jonah shows up here and he's like, "Hey, you leave that family alone or you die." And at that point, one of them yells out, "It's like, oh, look at here, we got a cowboy." And Jonah just shoots him in the head. And immediately the other two were like, "We're willing to leave now." And Jonah says, "Yeah, I bet so." And he shoots them as well. And the family's like, "Dear Lord, please don't hurt us, whoever you are." And he's like, "Don't worry. Like, I'm on your side. I'm good. I just want to know where and when I am." And at that point, Gotham City police show up, and they've got tasers trained on him, and he's willing to give himself up. He's like, no, don't worry. Like, they were the ones who were holding these people at gunpoint. I just saved their lives. I'm a bounty hunter, if that means anything. And he offhandedly makes a comment on how one of the cops is black and how he didn't expect that. Like, he's like, "How long has that been a thing?" And here's like, "Okay, all right, we're dropping this guy." So they shoot him with the tasers. He goes down for a second, but then as they try to cuff him, he starts fighting against them. He's like, "I don't know what kind of bullets those were, but I ain't letting you do that again." And at that point, he's like, "Okay, I know I'm in Gotham now, but what year am I in?" And at that point, Shadow of a Bat pops up on the wall behind him. But it turns out it's Batwing. And Batwing comes in and starts beating him. And he's just like, yes, get your family out of here. I'll take care of the redneck in a racially insensitive costume." And so they start fighting. Jonah keeps on telling him, like, "Dude, I'm not an enemy. But, like, if you're going to fight me, then I'm going to fight back. Like, that's how this is going to go." And so it's just, him trying to throw punches against Batwing. Batwing's obviously wearing armor, so that doesn't matter really much at all. And Batwing's like, "Okay, well, tell me what your name is." And he says, like, "Oh, I'm Jonah Hex." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, sure you are, buddy." Well, either way, during their fight, he mentions, like, "Oh, yeah, you crazies all here in Gotham. No wonder Arkham loved it so much." And so Batwing hears Arkham. He's like, "Oh, You're an Arkham inmate. All right, well, I don't like beating up on the mentally handicapped here, so I'm going to put you out real quick." And he uses gut punch to knock the wind out of him and basically knock him out. And then final pages here, we see Jonah coming to. He's in a straight jacket with a single light for a door, and he's screaming, "Let me out of here. I'm not crazy. I'm a free man. You can't hold me against my will." And now he's trapped in Arkham Asylum. That's the issue. I mean, this arc has been so weird. We started with one villain who was killed immediately into the next issue. And then we get this, which was like we go in and we take all this money from the secondary villain, but then it turns out that secondary villain doesn't matter because now we're in the future. And I don't understand what we're doing. If we stay in the future or the present even, I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with that, but like it's starting to feel like they're writing specifically against the trade. Like they're like, oh, you want to collect all of our issues into like a nice little succinct volume that collects the story arcs? Screw you. We're going to write it as meanderingly and as possible to comprehend as possible. Which I don't think that every story needs to be written for the trade, but I also don't think that like none of these plots have had endings. We like, yeah, they've ended at the first page of the last issue, but like that's not satisfying, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't feel like I'm getting a full story out of it. Booster Gold just disappeared. He was a major player for the last 3 issues, and now he's just gone because he didn't know how to drive a wagon. It's so weird to me. So overall, I'll give this one like I'm giving it a 6.5. And the 0.5, it just barely earns. Because I want to know what I'm supposed to be like paying attention to at this point. It feels like this is just, they were almost given the cancellation notice, but then it got rescinded again. And they were just like bouncing back and forth about what they want to do as a story. And if we finally locked onto he's in present day, so be it. But I lock it down. Let me care about something for more than one issue.